Cats Don't, or a series called Cats Don't Like That. And it's really a funny, humorous book with a few different titles in it. So I one of the comps that we had tried was Pete the Cat, because it's kind of a funny, in the same age group. But they're both cat books, but they don't convert well on that, not as
Mhm.
well as some of the other books that are not about cats, or that are just, there's just weird, it doesn't always convert, but it does when you start looking at those that are very similar to yours. You can also go take a look at those books, and we'll take a look at it on Amazon. But when we look at it and you scroll down the listing, it'll say also bought with or frequently bought with. And
Mhm.
those, you'll see what those books are associated with. So that's even if you
Okay.
don't have any keyword tools. Um,
Mhm.
and you can also see the ones that are advertising on that particular product as well. So it's interesting to see how all of that plays together. But yeah, I think it's a good place to start.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's just really hard to find comp titles,
It
and
is.
you have to do the best you can, and allow Amazon to just go crazy with automatic ads. Try some different things, because if what I would normally not do is go broad, but if you have a really hard time with getting comp titles and things that are working just with phrase and exact, then go broad and let it pull in more, and then you're bound to kind of find those that will work better for your book.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Thanks, Karen.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Karen.
Well, I just want to say first, I just Googled children's books about trolleys, and there's a whole bunch of them. So you might want to check that out too. I think I've heard of this one, Oh Golly, Miss Trolley.
Mhm.
Well, maybe not. It's only got one review. But anyways, and Molly and the Runaway Trolley has 43 reviews. So yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
sure. Okay, I'm gonna try and share. Let's see, I have to, been a while since I've done this. I hit share and then I go to my picture. Is that right? My picture's on my screen.
You're gonna do, yeah, you're gonna
Oh,
click
here we go.
here, then find the screen, and then click share one more time. Mhm.
Okay. There we
All right.
go. Let me make this smaller. So she changed the faces. She added more people. She thinned out the trees. The bunting is goofy. And she put people over here, and bunting is goofy. I mean, the bunting's like, I don't know. I don't like the way the bunting is, even though I asked her for bunting. What are your thoughts? And Darlene suggested flip flop, that this should be on the front, since that's the what the book's about is the,
Mhm.
so I don't know. I did send a request through Readsy yesterday to get uh my previous illustrator to give me a quote.
Okay.
So I haven't heard back yet. She may not even want to work with me for all I know. So
Yeah, this looks really crowded on the cover, the right side. And I
Mm.
really, those trees just really bother me, the way that they're just kind of like blocking everything, because we're going to need a cover title up there.
mhm. It
Really,
does have the older feel of the building.
yeah, the building is better, but this is getting really, really busy. It's very hard to have so much going on there.
Yeah. This guy's got a really big nose. Made me laugh, but
But yeah, it might be worth going back and just trying some different things. Do you want to open up and I think we found like one or two images inside in the interior of the book that we thought could potentially do okay as a cover. And I do agree that the one on the left would have room on the top and would show, it's about honoring our veterans. So um, that would be appropriate. I
okay.
think you lose the cuteness of the kids unless there's like little kids in front holding a banner. Like I think somebody else had come up with that idea.
Yeah, when we did the AI, we saw some.
Yeah. So, because that would be kind of cute to have those characters leading the front, but still see the individuals in the back without it being too crowded.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anybody else have any ideas or feedback? It's a hard one. Go ahead, Pat.
Just a few comments. My eye is drawn to those trees and
I
the
know.
focus.
I'm gonna get rid of them too.
I just have, two comments, and of course it's your book, you do what you wish, you and your illustrator. I don't know if you really need the trees.
Hmm.
And also, I think the little girl on the curb on the right,
Mhm.
you've got the young man standing by the tree. You could still keep him in the background, but do you really need her?
Yeah, because
Right.
she kind of distracts from the main characters, right?
Right. Yeah.
And even the lady with her hand up behind the little boy.
Mhm.
I I know you need a lot of people. It's a parade, but I think the trees are distracting, and maybe the little girl could go away, but keep the young man who was standing by the trees.
Mhm.
And I don't know, maybe move the lady who's behind the boy, because you're seeing her and him, and I just kind of wish you would just see more of them. These are just suggestions. That's all.
They're
Yeah.
good.
I wanted to
Because
also mention to you that Praise Saffler, who is my amazing designer, is now back doing her Friday morning sessions. So this is just the kind of thing that mastermind session help with, is kind of brainstorming through this. And if you share some of the interior images, she will be happy to go through it with you and see if you can come up with some other ideas or different ways of just different things to try.
when you say the interior images, I don't have any other images, or do you just, I just have the story. I mean, the manuscript.
Storyboard. But don't you have the storyboard for the interior?
No,
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm
I
sorry.
don't have anything. I was just trying to decide which illustrator to go with.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not loving any of this.
yeah, and it never has struck me right.
Mhm.
I think I like the fact that Miguel's, actually that's supposed to be Sam. I think they flipped him. But anyways, I just think he has darker hair. That's why I think he's Miguel. But um,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. At least he's facing the front.
One of the other things, if when I get stuck like this and I'm just not able, I'm going back and forth and it's just not working, the I will contact Viditha over at Prayen and say, hey, can you swap out and give me and let somebody else do a sample because this one's not working. So we just can't seem to get it right. And that'll be fine. She'll be fine with that. She'll get
Do I
you.
need to pay another 150?
I don't think so. Because all they did so far was the very rough sketch. We haven't even gotten through the whole thing. So it might be a little bit more, but not what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay. And just copy me on it.
Well, should I do that at this point, or do you think I should?
Yeah, I would.
You would? Okay. So send an email to
We'll call her V. It's Viditha, but V at
okay,
Prayen.
to swap out another illustrator.
Hmm.
Okay.
See if the illustrator has any ideas, the new illustrator, maybe they can come at it in a different direction. Sometimes we think we know what we want and then we see it and it's like, oh, yeah, that wasn't such a great idea, or it's too busy, or there's something else, there's got to be a better way,
Mhm.
you know.
With my other illustrator, with Reedsy, I just gave them, they asked for different URLs of different books. So I gave them a bunch of books, and it included, some of the books included like the flags of
Mhm.
the different branches and vehicles and stuff. But I pretty much just described it. I don't know how I did that with, oh, you and I described it for them.
Yeah.
So, Okay. All right, so just let them know I'm not thrilled with it, and
Yeah, and just we've already tried a couple of back and forth, and I think that's enough to know that this just isn't working.
well,
Yeah.
this was the first revision that I've asked for.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough though?
Yeah, I mean, you can let them know unless they have any other ideas that that you're kind of feeling stuck, and
Okay,
give them, just say, do you think we should bring in somebody else? Do you think the design, does the artist have any other ideas that we can try and see what they want to do?
should I provide her with that section of my manuscript
Yeah, you
to
might as
read
well,
from?
so that they can get kind of a sense of what the whole story is. We've worked with Prayen a lot, so I wouldn't worry about it. But if you want to have them sign an NDA, of course, they'll have no problem with that.
Okay. Well, I did send the whole manuscript to the other illustrator.
Mhm.
But Reedsy has its own contract that's
Right, right.
similar to yours, but not exactly the same. Okay, well then I'll do that because I don't know, I saw this and I thought, it's a little better, but not that much. So, okay. All right. That's what I wanted to know. I'll stop sharing then.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else
Thank
have any
you.
comments or ideas for the cover design for that book? Feel free to jump in with any ideas.
Well, what are your thoughts about how they're having the parade, the parade on the right side?
It wouldn't be bad. I just would be very careful not to make it really, really, really busy.
Okay. So we're gonna tell V, don't make it too busy.
Yeah, because that's just not working well.
Okay.
It probably couldn't hurt to take a look at what some of the other book covers look like as well. And I'm remembering them in my mind, but it couldn't hurt to take a look and see if there's anything there that will, maybe give us some new ideas.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll copy what I sent to
Mhm.
Reedsy and CC them.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
sounds good. Take a look and see if there's, sorry, I'm just trying to come here and make sure I can monitor any questions from online. All right. All right, so we have, let's see, Karen posted Richard Scary books. Yeah, those are good idea for Pat for comp titles. That's a good idea. Do you want to work through it? I'm not seeing any other questions. Edie, did you have anything? I think your audio has now connected, right? Go ahead and take yourself off mute and ask your question.
I actually am stuck looking for books that are similar to the one that I'm writing on teaching Algebra 1 as a toolkit for people with ADHD.
Okay.
And I haven't found anything like that available. I found books just typical for a neurodiverse, for a typical student to reuse, but
What's the
not
what's the age group, Edie?
13 to 14.
Oh, okay.
Or actually, it could be 13 to 21 because I've had high school students that failed Algebra 1 4 or 5 times and are still taking it.
And it's specifically for people. I'm just going to share my screen and we'll look at things together. First of all, you have a very wide age range. So let's just say, even though we know that people that are younger or older could also benefit from it, I think you want to definitely hone in on that smaller age group. I was thinking, 10 to 14 or something like that, but you think that it's too
Well, typically, Algebra 1 is in 8th or 9th grade.
okay. So 12 to 14, 12 to something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So books for, let's see, children's, let's see, kids books for age, I'll say 13 ADHD. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what I choose to be respectful, choose this and choose that, executive functioning, mindfulness activities, superfoods. Would you say STEM would be a part of it? We'll say STEM books.
Maybe STEM is more engineering than math.
And okay, so what about math? Or educational, let's see, math books for age 13. Do the math. Challenging fun math puzzles. Thriving ADHD workbook for kids. So I kind of like mix those up a little bit and that might help. Number genius, logic puzzles for kids. So puzzles, when you say you're teaching kids math, tell me a little bit about how you go about that in this book. What are the methods of teaching that are highlighted here?
Well, in teaching algebra, the first step is to make sure they have the fundamentals, like adding, like multiplication, division, um, facts available to them. Then from there, solving equations using manipulatives.
Let's say I'll use the word algebra and see if that makes any difference. Everything need to ace geometry.
And I actually, the publisher of that book or the author of that book also has one for Algebra 1, and I do have that book.
Okay. Do you feel like that is something that is comparable to what you're doing? And it's okay if you're putting a different spin on it, but is it for the basic same age group and just,
Yes.
okay. So if somebody's looking to help their child, help 13-year-old, 13. Oh, come on. Sorry, these tools sometimes get stuck here with all of this. I should probably turn it off.
And I guess the reason why I am particular about writing it for ADHD is that there are such huge deficits in understanding and organizational thought that comes with ADHD that doesn't come with a typical student. And so having been a teacher, I know my students with ADHD learn differently than a
Okay.
typical student.
AD, oh, this is just really weird how it's kind of stuck here. Let's see. Close out of some of these windows and see if that helps. I'm really having some difficulties these days with the computer here. All right. Try again. Hopefully we'll make it through without the computer crashing on me, which it's been doing all day.
Now, the positive thing is that the book that I bought, that's the Algebra 1 Made Simple just for regular students, is a great selling book. And I know that statistically, there are a lot of kids that fail Algebra 1 who have ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like the market is there. I just want to have something to read or something to look at that gives me a feel for what others are doing, what's already out in the field.
Yeah, these are, life skills and ADHD workbook. I think you've got to have something that's a tutoring thing. So mastering essential math skills. But that's, yeah, it's middle grade and high school. So that one could potentially also be an opportunity. This one is ADHD, but ODD as well. Math skills. Let's try and take a look at this and see what else. Math skills, measurement, thinking classrooms, mathematics. So this is the bestseller. Building thinking classrooms.
I put one in the chat, and the reason I put it was it talked about, I think it said right brain. And I thought maybe that could help with them organizing.
So we have these thinking classrooms. It looks like it's a series. You can see how they're very similar look and feel, which is nice. But those are bought together. One thing that I don't like about this book is it's like K to 12. K to 12 is a big range, right? So you're not going to be covering the same thing with a kindergartner than you would with a 12th grader. So that to me is a mistake I would try to avoid, because I'm like, is this going to be even something that's more geared to the older or the younger? Mathematics, deep thinking.
Right.
Yeah. And then you've got these, it says customers also bought or read. So these are the comps for this book, some of the comps, right? So other comps would be some of these other ones, but 5 practices for orchestrating productive mathematics, math-ish, finding creativity, diversity, and meaning in math, and then math fact fluency. Should we look for something that's ADD specific? Because that's another thing that I know you said.
Well, I think
You.
the broader scope of algebra
Mhm.
is more what I'm looking for, because when I searched for ADHD, it was all basic math.
Mhm.
It wasn't advanced math. And I'm having the same issue with going on YouTube to
Mhm.
see if I can find people to follow. And they're all crowded in the adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. They're
One
not
of
really doing upper level
Yeah,
math.
one of the other things I would do is join, if you're not already joined, to some of the Facebook groups or teaching communities, whether it's on Circle or School, SKOOL, or Facebook groups. There's also Goodreads has groups and things like that as well. But if you find a group where teachers or librarians are gathering, or moms with kids who have ADHD or ADD, I would ask the question, if you were looking for a book with, to help your child around this age with ADHD learn math, what would you search for? Where would you find it? Who would you ask? Where would you go? And try to get an understanding about what it is that they're looking for and how they're finding the books already. Ask some teachers that are teaching in this age group. Librarians are usually very resourceful of finding things when nobody else seems to be able to. So what is it that they're looking for, and how are they putting that together? So if you ask those kind of questions and we understand how they are searching for things, then we'll put in those search terms and we'll start to see the results being returned. We'll start to have more comps there as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other ideas for Edie? Okay.
I see one.
What's that?
It's called the Math Handbook for students with math difficulties, dyslexia or ADHD, something else, grades 1 through 7, by Helmy, Helmy Faber, Faber.
Yeah, and if you want to copy and paste the link for Edie into the chat, that would be helpful as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Learn to read for kids with dyslexia. math workbook for kids with dyslexia. Oh, sorry, it's dyscalculia. That goes to show how our brains work, right? We change a word that is similar, but I think they were trying to make a different point than I was taking out of it. Dyslexia, math activities, but I still think it's at a younger age group. It's not targeting the exact age group that you're looking for. So it sounds like there might be a gap in the marketplace, or we're just not looking for the right things. Bookstores, libraries, even if you call your local Barnes and Noble and say, I need a book on this topic, can't seem to find it. What do you have in your system? And then you can ask the question too, what did you search for? How did you find that? How did you know to look for that? Because that's going to be similar places where we're going to want to make sure people are able to find your own as well.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
You are welcome. I know we had a late start and we had some computer issues, but I do have about 5 more minutes and I'm willing to stay a little longer if anybody has anything else you want to cover. If not, what I did start to say before anybody got on here with me is I've got some a new video that's going to drop probably tomorrow where we go through hold on one second. It is Book Vault. Book Vault, and hold on. I went through and met, excuse me. I met with the gentleman who works with Book Vault, and it was pretty interesting. So the royalties are higher. No, I'm sorry, I'm saying Book Vault, but I'm not meaning Book Vault. It's Published Drive. For some reason, I keep getting those mixed up. So Published Drive, and I'll pull that site up, it's a publishing platform that competes with Draft to Digital. And you can actually get a higher percentage of royalties using them than you would with Draft to Digital. They also have not just ebooks, but they have paperbacks also, which gets routed and printed through Ingram. Sorry, it's Lightning Source. So we were talking about, is that the same as the printers that do the ones from Ingram Spark? And we're not sure. We're going to look for more, get more information. But some of the stuff that he had and the tools were very modern. One of the things I really liked about the interview, and I will share the whole thing, but he talked about how they've stepped up their support. And if you look at Trustpilot, and they're really focusing all their support on customer experience, and they don't delete their reviews. And out there, I think it was like 4.7 on Trustpilot for this tool and their company. So that tells me, gosh, if you've ever tried to get support from Amazon or Ingram, that tells me, there's a big gap there that if we could do better, then, I think that's an opportunity. They also have a tool that will generate a cover. They have a tool, and this is all part of Published Drive. They have a tool that will called Abacus that's inside of Published Drive that allows you to kind of separate royalties, split up royalties. So if you're happen to be sharing with your illustrator, for example, or if you're a publisher like me and you're going to start publishing other people's books, and I'm going to set them all up in Published Drive, and I'm going to take a percentage, they're going to have a percentage, all of that can be done. And there's a lot of nice reporting in there as well. So we went through a walkthrough of Published Drive. I didn't know anything about it when we first started, except that I'd heard so many really good things from Dale. Dale Roberts is a mentor and a friend, and he had published Drive out there, and he had been raving about some of the functionality in there. So one of the really cool things is that it also has integrated AI, where if you're in Publish Drive, you can just click the little AI thing and it'll suggest titles, it'll write your description and things like that. It'll even help you select categories. The AI does. So, and it has the same access to all the categories the same way that Publisher Rocket does. So I'm very interested in playing more with the tool and seeing where that can go. I'll release the whole video so you have an opportunity. It's not heavily edited at all. It was just me getting rid of ums and ahs and stupid things like that, using the AI tools in there. Go ahead, Pat, you had a question? I'm sorry, Pat, you're on mute.
Sorry. You mentioned Dave Chesson and then the word Atticus, and it kind of hit me. Have you ever used his Atticus to format books? Not
I
picture
played
books.
around with it, and that one I've used Atticus. I've also used Vellum, which is one that I successfully formatted my first book, which was a novel, and I used Vellum, which I really liked a lot. But Readsy also has a tool that's free that you can use. Any of them are fine. They just each have their own little nuances, and you have to understand how to work through them. They obviously, Kindlepreneur has a great support team. So if you're struggling with something, they have a community, they have an email, and the girl who answers all of the questions or is in charge of that tool at Kindlepreneur also took my class and did a picture book with our group. So Melanie, I think is her name, Melanie. And so I have like a direct connect to her. So if I have questions, I've asked the questions. And one of them was, what do you think about trying to format a picture book in this tool? And she says that you could, if you're saving in PNG files, the whole page with the text on it, you could, actually put them there and just go through. But she said that is one area they're looking at potentially expanding. But these tools are good. I mean, there's no need of paying $1,000 to have somebody format your book if you can just import it in a tool and kind of be able to import and change the styling, pick some, little toggles here and there. And they all have nice templates where you can choose from standard templates or you can customize for yourself.
And Readsy has a free one?
Yeah, there's a free one on Readsy.
Okay,
Very
thank you.
simple. Very simple. Go ahead, Karen.
You were talking about Ingram Sparks a few minutes ago, and I called a bookstore yesterday that I was referred to, and the bookstore looked up my book, and they said it was only 20% off that they would get instead of the 40%. I sent an email to the Ingram on their helpline, but do you have any idea why that would be, or just wait?
So you actually have to set, if you want the bookstore to get the percentage, and actually be incented to bring it in, you have to set it for 55% so that they get the 40% that they're looking for. And of course, Ingram Spark gets the rest.
Okay, so that's for any bookstore.
There is another way of getting into these bookstores and having your beautiful high quality books in there. And I'll go through that now, just kind of plant some seeds, because I'm going to have the woman that I'm working with at Pathways. There's a distributor called Pathways, and they are located in New Hampshire. They do storage of your books. They do fulfillment of your books. They can set you up on Shopify, they can set you up on Amazon, and they also get your books on Ingram Spark, distributed in a number of different ways in different places. But when somebody from Barnes and Noble then goes in and pulls up the inventory, they're not seeing a print on demand book, they're seeing an offset print book that you would print like through Jenabeth at Jostens or another printer. And the goal is to get the price down as low as you possibly can by printing in volume so that you can then make more money and give the kind of discount that they're looking for.
So if I wanted to reach back out to that company,
Mhm.
they probably don't want to deal directly with me. They'll only want to deal with Ingram Sparks, right? Since it's a bookstore.
Well, you could ask if they want to deal directly. There was one Barnes and Noble that I worked with that did consignment of some of my books. I did a book reading there. It went well. They sold out of what they had. And then I said, I've got 1,000 books at home. If you're interested and you want me to bring some more in, I can do that. And the manager of that Barnes and Noble did that. But that was in, 2018. So I don't know how much that's changed now, but it's worth asking. And I don't think that there are standards at the office that it's really goes down to the store. I think they have autonomy at the store level, what they want to do with regard to local authors.
This was an independent store,
Oh,
but it's
independent
on
stores.
the other side of the country, but they said they only deal with it 40% off.
Yeah, you could do it with, you could see whether they do consignment or they would be willing to purchase directly from you. Cut out the middleman. That's an option if they do that.
So when you do a consignment, I don't fully understand how that works. I mean, you're not selling it to them, you're giving it to them. And then they just give you profit when they sell it, right?
So, yeah, with consignment, you don't get paid unless it sells. When it does sell, they tally it up and give you your share. And you can start with consignment and say, here's 5 books or here's 10 books. I'll call you in a couple of months and see if you need, do you want me to do a book signing? Do you want, what are you willing to do to support and get some traffic there? And then if you drive traffic and if the books sell and they're like, wow, this is going really well, I'll put a bulk order in with you. So you want to move them from consignment to doing more direct ordering if you can.
Well, if they're far away, then do I pay all the shipping and stuff? Would you recommend?
Yeah, that's not easy. You have to work that in with them and kind of,
Okay.
I don't know if they care enough about the topic and the book to meet you halfway. Sometimes their margins are so low that they don't have a lot of room either. So but it's worth a discussion.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you end up sending a book to them?
No, but I am sending one to the person that referred me to them, and I'm sending it to them for free. So I'm just sending them a free paperback. But
Mhm.
they just looked it up and they said it looks like a good book, but they don't deal with anything if it's 40, unless it's 40% off.
Must they have hardcovers? Because you can discount it much easier and still make money if it's a paperback. It's not quite so expensive to print.
I wasn't sure which one they wanted. So, because that was a thought. I could, if they're willing to deal directly with me, I could do my copy and then drop ship it.
Yeah, or you could even go online to KDP and drop ship it from there.
Right.
I mean,
I have
obviously.
found it's cheaper to go through Ingram.
Okay.
But then for the hardcovers, I've got 200 at my house still that I would like to get rid of.
Hmm.
So I'll call them back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, okay, thanks.
Start looking forward to that 4th of July kind of stuff.
Yeah. I've been calling just flag companies lately, and a couple of them are interested.
What
So
about parades that are going to be coming through for the Independence Day? You know, they use that sometimes some of them have craft shows and the parade, and they have.
Yeah, whenever I've tried to connect with my little tiny town,
Mhm.
uh, I keep getting no's.
Well, extend and go to the Chamber of Commerce and show your smiling face and network with some people that may go, oh, this place, that place, this has a craft show over here, or there's, a fair over here, and they can make you some connections. But you just networking really could help in that situation.
Okay. The only way that I've found any connection on that is with there is a local writers group that I'm sort of connected to.
Okay.
But maybe my town's just too little.
Where are you located?
It's called North Bend. It's right before you go over the Cascade Mountains. So I'm at the farthest end before you have to go over the mountain.
Okay, let's see what my authorpreneur.ai has to say about places to contact around North Bend.
Okay.
Okay. I have an author. Oops. I have an author whose patriotic book would be a great fit for Independence Day. She is located in North Bend. What's the state?
Washington.
Washington.
The few that I've talked to, you have to like enter a drawing to get into the little
That's crazy, huh?
into the little craft shows.
That's crazy.
And the farmer's market only wants to deal with food.
There's a lot of people that sell books at farmers markets. She's located in North Bend, Washington. Do you have suggested businesses, organizations, or events that may be a good fit to contact for the upcoming Get your nails done, Mom, they said. It will be great.
I did discover that Ace Hardware wants to buy some, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. All right. So let's see.
Yeah. Libraries aren't even very open.
All right. Carnation 4th of July celebration
I went to that last year.
includes a parade, vendor village, car show, and fireworks. It's a family-friendly gathering that could be an excellent venue.
Okay.
So around the parade route too, you can see like what businesses are there that's going to get a lot of traffic. Will they let you put a little booth outside their business or something like that? I mean, you don't have to necessarily color within the lines always. Sometimes just getting something a little different. Annie Pulliam, Daughters of the American Revolution. That's patriotic. American Legion.
I talked to the American Legion, but Snow Valley, Chamber of I've talked to them.
This one, Post 79.
Yeah, a guy at my church goes there, but they don't seem interested. They have done things with the scouts that I've attended, but
Good.
nothing happens.
Snow Valley Chamber of Commerce.
I've talked to them.
North Bend Farmers Market, North Bend Downtown Foundation.
I don't know about them.
They host various community events and could be a valuable partner for promoting the book during holiday festivities. Local libraries and bookstores, community centers and schools. But now would be the time to contact the libraries and say, I have this patriotic thing. Here's the presentation I could give. I can read to the kids. Can we schedule me in for that holiday period?
I have been told that even if I read, I can't sell my books. But they could go and buy them, I guess, outside.
Yeah, you could give them, postcard that has a little coloring picture on one side and on the other side, a QR code where you can buy the book. Something like that, where you can give away something that also they take with them, and if they like the book, they're gonna grab it anyway. All right, community centers and schools. Community centers are a good idea.
Yeah, I tried connecting with them. They're the ones that you have to,
I would
like,
also
get in a drawing.
I think around Independence Day, teachers are engaging in discussions of patriotic topics. So I wonder if local school systems, and if you contact the principal, contact the school librarian, contact the PTA, like, can
I
you?
went to the superintendent and they said no.
Yeah, I'm not good at taking no for an answer. So I would just, I'm like one of those Roombas. I go blue, 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 blue. No, okay, let me go this way. Boo, boo, boo. And I keep
Maybe
going
I should try that.
until
Maybe
I
I
find
should try that, April.
I would probably do, I'd probably get so frustrated. I would say, the heck with it. I'm going to go and create my own event.
Oh,
I'm going to invite some booksellers to, and other people, and I'm going to put rent a VFW hall, and I'm going to sell the books. I'm going to have, we'll have like a little buffet. People will buy a ticket, the VFW members will come in. We'll invite the Legion Hall. We'll do a little ceremony and a reading for the veterans. Maybe do, so I would be like doing all this saying, hey, if I can't find an opportunity, then there's a gap. And you're probably not the only one looking for something like this that would be willing to partner with you and do something special.
okay. All right.
Don't take no for an answer. I
Yeah.
always tell my kids that it was funny because I would always teach them problem solving skills. And I always say, I don't take no until at least third time, the same, the same no. And then one time I was arguing with my youngest boy, and I was like, will you stop? And he goes, well, my mom told me don't take no until it's at least 3 times in. And I'm like, I've created a monster.
Okay. Well, I've tried most of those avenues, but I didn't try the Carnation 4th of July. I went to it the first time last year, and we'd been out of town right before that. So I'll look into that one especially.
If you want to see if this idea of putting something together yourself has legs, drop into one of your local like Facebook groups, or like over here it's what is it, next door? And
All right, we have next door.
So we have next door, we have like some local you're from Pawtucket, if things like that, kind of groups. And so a lot of places have what they call buy nothing groups. Have you ever heard of that on Facebook?
Yeah.
The yard sale groups, the mamas groups, the veterans groups. Like, if you drop a note into those and just say, hey, I'm not aware of anything that, any kind of event where I can, as a, bookseller, is anybody else finding this? And if there's none out there, introduce the idea of, gee, we should organize something like this.
Okay.
And you could also talk to somebody in the Chamber of Commerce and with that same discussion topic and say, I'm not seeing anything. Like, is there really nothing patriotic to honor veterans in our area, and where we have anything that, I can set up some books and read to some kids and help spread the word and really truly honor the veterans. Because
I know they have a big Veterans Day parade, but it's like an hour away. But then this last Veterans Day parade, the VFW had a small ceremony, which we attended. But it wasn't where you would set things up to sell.
Well, I mean, if I was coordinating things, because that's the project manager in me, you've got that book about the worn out flag. You've got the new book, right? The new patriotic book. So maybe you could work with the veterans, and, you said they like to do a local ceremony. So perhaps you could kind of put a bug in their ear now and start thinking about, oh, well, do you think talking about flags and talking about how maybe even doing the ceremony. You could get the Boy Scouts involved and,
Yeah,
you know,
they
like
were involved. Yeah.
but it would be really helpful if you had like 3 people that all have some kind of merchandise, books, things like that, or a real passion for this topic.
Yeah,
So that
because I
it's
feel
not
like
just
I'm
you.
nagging them because that was the same group I went to the flag burning ceremony, and it's the like 2 towns over, and I just didn't get much
Yeah,
enthusiasm out of anybody.
yeah.
So I
Well,
felt like I was just bugging them. I do take no for an answer too easily.
not me. You want some company? We'll do some patriotic things down in was it North Bend?
North Bend, yeah.
All right. Well, guys, I will let you go. It is getting late, but thank you for joining me. Thank you for the patience with the connectivity and all of that. So, and keep an eye out if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel. Subscribe so you can get a notification because I am going to go and post the unedited version or the lightly edited version, and then later when my editor does a better job, I'll post the newer version. But you're going to see a lot about this Publish Drive tool, and it was really impressive. I just wanted to go in and jump right in and set things up. And the first book is free, so why not set it up and see if there's anything there that they don't take royalties. They have like a different way of charging where you pay so much per book, and the first one is free. So it's just like a monthly fee for just having all these features and functionality. So I think it's good to learn, and I think that I may start recommending Publish Drive, but I'm going to start using it and experimenting with it. If you think you might be a good candidate to be my guinea pig, and let's partner together and load up a book into Publish Drive and see how you like it, and we can have a few of us that test it out and give them some feedback. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Talk to
you.
Thank you, April.
Thanks.
you later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.